Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Pay-Per-Review Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Flores. Today, we review Backlash 2017. All in all, guys, to me, Backlash was a very good pay-per-view. Like any pay-per-view, Backlash had some low points, but having such great high points like it did made it so memorable. There's been countless times where I watch a pay-per-view and I instantly forget it. I even forgot the time that Seth Rollins fought Brock Lesnar at Battleground because of the finish, in which Seth Rollins disappears from the ring and the Undertaker comes out of the ring, reappears into the ring, and sets up an angle for Hell in a Cell. That match I completely forgot. It's a great example. WWE thrives on making memories like that. WWE thrives on making memories not like how they did with Battleground, but with what they did with Backlash 2017. Nostalgic memories that persuade people to buy the network and look back on the previous matches that they've had. Hell, it happened to me. I wanted to watch old Monday Nitros, and I've been back into wrestling with a passion ever since. Let's review Backlash 2017. The first match that we had up on the pre-show was Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger. I thought the beginning had great heel work from Aiden English early. Ty and Aiden put on a great match. The only downside to this match was that a victory to Ty Dillinger or Aiden at this point on the pre-show just gives a stalemate to both wrestlers. No essential progress because they're not on the main card, in my opinion. The next one we had was the opening match to Backlash 2017. We had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. The question as the match went on to me with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler was, who was going to out-wrestle who? There was a lot of great move sequences that I enjoyed throughout the match. Dolph brought out the Famouser. Dolph escapes out of the reverse exploder to then kick Nakamura right in the back of the head. The end result was Shinsuke Nakamura giving the Kinshasa to Dolph Ziggler at the end. To me, Nakamura's debut was way more than I expected. The crowd in Chicago worshipped the ground that he walks on. He was over, and people humming his song isn't going anywhere. His song, to me, is as addictive as yelling out 10 when Ty Dillinger comes out. Nakamura was able to get a great performance out of Dolph Ziggler, and vice versa. Dolph Ziggler was able to get a great performance out of Shinsuke Nakamura. Like I mentioned on the predictions podcast, both of them know when to turn it on for major pay-per-views, and they definitely delivered for me. I thought it was a great opening match. A lot of people have issues with them being the opening match, but in order for the crowd to get into their seats, in order for everyone to get riled up and worked up for this type of pay-per-view, I believe a great curtain jerker. Curtain jerking is not a bad thing in the world of professional wrestling. If you are the opening match, the booker knows and has an idea of what you can deliver for a great opening match. It's a huge responsibility. It's almost as equal as a responsibility as being the main event. Despite all that, I have no issues with Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler being the opening match there at Backlash 2017. The next match we had was Breezango versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Titles. This match was done extremely well. The psychology of the comedy from Breezango to the Usos was incredible. I thought this match was probably one of the most funniest matches I've seen in quite a long time. And it's deliberate humor. It's not someone botching a move and then you laugh at it. No, this was actually well played out humor. Tyler Breeze and Breezango come out, and they come out with their police gimmicks, but Tyler Breeze is undercover as the janitor, also known throughout the IWC as Tyler the Cleaner. He has his mop. He's mopping stuff up. He starts the match mopping up and uses the mop in a slapstick kind of way so it doesn't deter the referee to grant warrant for a disqualification. So he was okay in that regard. The Usos were able to get more heat by breaking that very mop that got Breezango and Tyler Breeze over. The great thing about this is that from the low point that Tyler Breeze and Fandango were, they are now one of the most over tag teams in all the roster. All because of what we all wanted. We wanted to see free range with the Fashion Files gimmick. We wanted free range with the Fashion Files costume outfits that Tyler Breeze and Fandango had. And look at that. Especially over it. The only thing that they can do to capitalize on that from now on is actually having a great t-shirt. The match was good comedy relief. Tyler changing into the old grandma added more humor to it, with JBL keeping kayfabe going, asking who the grandma was and why she was sneaking up into this match. It was cracking me up. From the crowd at home to the people live in the Windy City, everyone was having a great laugh, courtesy of Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Props to Fandango for busting out the tope out of nowhere as well. Unfortunately, the Usos retained, but damn, the Fashion Police was the best part of the match, and it was the best part of the first half of WWE Backlash. Very impressive. Very, very impressive stuff. The next match that we had was a very quick one. We had Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. As I talked about in the Backlash predictions podcast that I have on the Pay-Per-Review Wrestling Podcast channel, I had my only gripe with this match was thinking, well, can Baron Corbin actually have a great match with somebody with the size and the moveset of Sami Zayn? And he definitely did. The most important thing about this match wasn't necessarily the moveset, but it was the psychology of the match. The fact that Baron Corbin was just going to pummel Sami Zayn whenever chance he got. Then out of nowhere, Sami Zayn was able to bust out the haluva kick and was able to get the victory over Baron Corbin. That's a lot to say. From Sami Zayn, all various episodes that I've done and various episodes on many other YouTube wrestling channels, they're just saying that he's the jobber to the stars, and like I've said as well. But surprisingly, he got a victory over Baron Corbin, so it's pretty impressive. The next match that we had up on the docket was Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the United States title. Now, this match was done really well. The opening sequence where you have AJ Styles knowing that he's just going to outwork Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens coming in as the cocky face of America. I thought the match went extremely well. Both of these guys beat the crap out of each other. Outside suplex from AJ Styles onto the outside part of the ring to Kevin Owens. A situation where Kevin Owens was able to get the side suplex from the top rope to AJ Styles. AJ Styles was teasing the Styles Clash at one point. Another great thing to point out was Kevin Owens was focusing on the leg of AJ Styles, and early on in the match he was focusing on that leg. Kevin Owens starts doing that. He starts working on the leg. AJ finally gets the upper hand. AJ tries to go off for the phenomenal form and tries to go up. Kevin Owens focusing on that leg. AJ Styles wasn't able to pull it off. This is when the match changed into Kevin Owens' favor. Kind of how it was with Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens' arm was being focused on by Chris Jericho throughout the match, and Kevin Owens wasn't able to pull his stuff off. So then Kevin Owens takes that and uses it against AJ Styles in a similar fashion, but a different body part. Still good stuff to see. The finish ended up happening where AJ Styles gets stuck on the announcer table and wasn't able to get back into the ring. He gets counted out. Kevin Owens retains. Great finish for both of them. You don't want any one of these guys losing clean to each other just yet. You had Kevin Owens retaining his U.S. title, and you have AJ Styles kind of still in the run. They're setting up a Money in the Bank angle later for AJ Styles. So it's not all bad. It's just one of those clean slates that you have with the WWE where, well, both guys still need to look strong. One guy still needs to retain his title because he's been given a gimmick as the face of America. AJ Styles can't do no wrong in the face of the internet wrestling community. Another match that we had was the 3-on-3 women's tag match. Charlotte is just too damn good. I can watch her and Natalya wrestle all day. Another great spot from the 3-on-3 women's tag match was Naomi's springboard crossbody. Hell of a move. So we had the three teams of Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Naomi versus Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella. So this match wasn't necessary. It was just a throwaway. As soon as something develops within the storyline of the three faces, one of them has to turn heel. It's either going to be Becky Lynch or Charlotte. One of them has to. That'd be good to see. The surprising turn of this all was that the notable transition from Becky Lynch, where Natalya was able to pull off the sharpshooter, only to have Becky Lynch reverse it into the disarmer. Very nice move sequence from Becky and Natalya. Huge props. The finish, which I liked as well, is Natalya was able to get the sharpshooter and make Becky Lynch tap out. So it doesn't necessarily do any harm to either team or any good to either team. Nonetheless, it still was a good match to see. The main event that we had was Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal, the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And I've heard tons of rumblings saying that Jinder Mahal isn't ready. And it's not true. Jinder Mahal is more than prepared to be the foreign heel for years to come within the WWE as long as he keeps on the right track there. The beginning part of this match, Randy Orton strikes early, throws Jinder Mahal over the announce table. The bell hasn't even rung yet, and both of these guys are throwing blows to each other. So the intensity of the match is awesome, even before the bell rings to make it official. It was a great match so far with Randy and Jinder trying to best each other with strength-based moves. Randy then slams Jinder right onto the announce desk. Then Jinder places Randy in a hold for what seems like an eternity, but looking back at it, you see that he's actually focusing in on the arm. It's not necessarily just a rest hold, but it's something to actually focus in on the arm that Randy usually likes to use RKO from. You then get a superplex from Randy Orton, followed by his patented scoop power slam. Something I haven't seen from Randy Orton in a long time. It was a fall-away slam from Randy Orton. Orton coils up only to have Jinder roll away. Then Orton gets distracted by the Singh brothers. Jinder then drives Randy to the post, drags Randy back in, and he's able to get his finisher off. Jinder Mahal ends up winning the WWE World Heavyweight title. Something great to see. Something I didn't expect to see for a while. And you get a lot of backlash from the internet wrestling community, but what more do you want? A lot of people are saying they want to change the pace with someone winning the WWE title, and they get it, and it's somebody foreign, and they don't like it. Call it whatever you want. I just call it a very disgruntled internet wrestling community. Anyway, to me, guys, Backlash 2017 was a well done pay-per-view. You had a very good stacked match card. Overall, to me, Backlash 2017 was done really well. You can't take WWE, you can't take anything away from WWE at this point for putting on such an effective pay-per-view. Something that's going to build up for one of the big four storylines, the storyline pay-per-views heading up in the next couple of months, leading up to SummerSlam. So it's definitely impressive to see WWE put on a match card just like this, just like they did for Backlash 2017. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Pay-Per-View Wrestling Podcast, our review of Backlash 2017. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Pay-Per-View Wrestling Podcast. When you subscribe to the Mark F. Podcast channel, you'll be able to get not only the Pay-Per-View Wrestling Podcast, but you'll also be able to get the Mark and Andre Show, where we talk about film, entertainment, and conspiracy theories, all wrapped into one show. You come for the conspiracy theories, you leave with the comedy there on the Mark and Andre Show. Also, we have Retro Collecting 101. We have a backlog of about 20 plus episodes regarding retro video games and current video games. So make sure you subscribe to that as well. Thank you guys for tuning into the Pay-Per-View Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Flores,